What are the Palestinians in the diaspora feeling?
I think deeply frustrated, a great sense of anger, sadness. Every single Palestinian right now knows someone that's been killed. Every single Palestinian is a part of a story of displacement or destruction. Every single Palestinian has a relative that's either missing a limb or a loved one. Every single Palestinian in the world is traumatized by this. And in some ways, being outside of Palestine, being away from it all, hurts even more, because you see your people being killed and starved and brutalized and slaughtered, and you can't do anything about it. And the people around you are justifying that slaughter. If you turn on a TV or if you open a mainstream news site, these sites are justifying your slaughter. And people are being killed over there because they look like me, because they're Palestinian like I'm Palestinian. And so we're watching this in diaspora with agony. We can't go. We can't heal our loved ones. We can't comfort the people that are there. I recently spoke to a doctor who's lost 75 relatives in Gaza. And he's a medical doctor. And all he wants to do is get in there and just use his medical expertise to help his people. And he can't. And so we're watching it from afar, but our hearts are there. They are in the buildings that are being destroyed. They're in the hospitals that are being bombed. They are there, and they are with the people.
You're somebody who's always rushed into the midst of a crisis. So what does it feel like on a personal level to not be able to do that here, to go to Gaza to help?
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, when any group of people are killed, my instinct, and I think a lot of people, is to go there to help, whether it's a natural disaster or especially after an incident of terror, wherever it is, right? It's rush there and do the best that you can to help people get through it. So it's been extremely hard to watch this from afar and feel like I can't do anything about it. And so that's why instead I think that most of us are driven to continue to be the voice of the voiceless. You know, I always say that if they've made them faceless, they can't make us voiceless. They have reduced our casualties in Palestine to a number. The number is hundreds a day. Over 30,000 people. We're averaging 10,000 people a month. The fact that they've been turned into faceless numbers with no stories, with no humanity, makes it that much more important for us to tell their stories here and to remind the world that you've lost your humanity if you can watch this unfold and not even have the decency to call for a ceasefire. I mean, that's where we've reached. That's how low it is right now. Calling for a ceasefire has now become radical. So we have to remind the world that if you're okay with the demolition of an entire town or a city or whatever it is that you want to call Gaza, because it wasn't always the Gaza Strip. But if you're okay with this and you're okay with this casualty count every single day, it's not just them who are being killed. It's your hearts that are dying. And I think that when I look back to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and I mentioned this, he wrote about Vietnam. He said that if America was to succumb to its spiritual death, the autopsy would read Vietnam. I would say that it would read Gaza now.